Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to Chicago. We got some rain. Yeah, it started raining at lunchtime, and then it tapered off, and then another band came through about 4 p.m. And so we're 5:23 in the p.m. here in Chicago, Illinois, October the 21st, 2025. We're gonna head home from work, and it's still dripping a little bit. It's still a little drizzly. We'll see if, hey, look at the bike here, the Uber Eats. Look, he's got the gloves there for his hands there. That's nice. But hey, we'll see if we get a stream here. Hey, there we go. Yeah, see, that's where you can go down to the lower levels of Michigan. Here's the Carbide and Carbon building. Oh, we got ambulance there, 74. So this is Water Street and Michigan Avenue, Chicago, Illinois here. Got a little rain here. We'll wait for the left turn through. That'll go to Wacker Drive. Carbide and Carbon building there. Dancing on some raindrops. Now, every time somebody sees a black SUV, we think of ICE. We associate SUVs and minivans. Minivans with out-of-state license plates. Everybody's scrutinizing all the out-of-state license plates. So here's the old Republic building. Hey, people, get on the 148 here. It's 48 degrees there. Leslie, how you doing there? Anita, thanks for tuning in there. Izzy, AENC, how you doing there? Ryan, Prince, thanks for tuning in there. How's everybody doing there? Wes, kept thinking that on Saturday. Yeah, I know. I know. But no, it's amazing. Just regular citizens. I saw a video. I'll get off of this because I know Anita and other people. I need to not dwell on this stuff, but we do need to address the elephant in the room. I think that was up in where was that? It was a suburb. It was a suburb of Chicago, and a private citizen just started yelling at ICE, and they left. And everybody thanked them. They thanked the guy. They thanked the guy for yelling and just forcing to leave the area because they had out-of-state license plates. And you know, I don't care who you are, even if it's for the right reason. Do you want out-of-state people you don't know with masks running around your community? I don't even care. You know, this harkens back to, I know people in the South didn't like it after the Civil War. That's why they fought against Reconstruction. Same thing. You think we like it here? You know? And I'm livid that people are getting profiled and the Supreme Court seems not to care. You know, but we'll get off of this. It's all beyond our control. It's going to play out the way it's going to play out. We got a long time to go. So here we'll cross Wacker Drive. There's the Trump Tower. There's the Wrigley Building. There's the, yeah, look at that, the Tribune Tower. Rainy day here. We got October the 21st here in 2025. We got 5:26 in the p.m. We got about 48 degrees. We're crossing Wacker Drive here on a rainy Tuesday afternoon. We'll cross the Chicago River and starting to feel like fall. Look, somebody's got a hat on. Look at that. Valerie, how you doing there, Wes? Leslie, yeah. Jummy, how you doing there? Homeward bound, yeah. Chris, Jummy, how you doing? Thanks, everybody. Grim Evil, yeah, how you doing? Like the ghost there. Eminem, Epilogue. Chicago Gucci. Yeah. Love Passion. Muhammad, how you doing there? Thanks for tuning in here. So, Chicago, Illinois here. Yeah, we'll head up Michigan. We'll go to the Gold Coast. Since it's kind of rainy, I'll just go to places I know where there are Halloween decorations. And there's a few that they've added. We'll probably check out Elm Street and maybe look at that beautiful car there. Wow, look at that. That's a convertible. Look at that. Is that a Aston Martin? What is that? Oops, I'm trying to walk across the bridge and look at this car. Hey, people got the umbrella out. Hope, how you doing? We'll, taking pictures here. There's the Chicago River there. Mather Tower, London House, Jewelers Building, Trump Tower. We'll head around here. So they still got that Aldi promotion over there at Pioneer. Yeah, winter's coming. Winter's coming. You got it. Yeah, we'll get out the Game of Thrones. Can you believe? Okay, so, you know, I've watched the whole Lord of the Rings. I've watched most of the Planet of the Apes, even the new ones, which are weird. I don't like the new Planet of the Apes movies, but I like the old ones. I have not watched many episodes of Games of Thrones. I know everybody got into Games of Thrones. I just never got into it. I watched a few episodes and lost interest. I think I'm the only person in the world that didn't like Game of Thrones. But I know everybody else liked it. I know the references to Winter's Coming. I remember people always saying that. And here, there's the Tribune Tower, Intercontinental Hotel. Used to be the Medina Athletic Association. There's the John Hancock off in the distance, 100 stories tall. We're going to head up that way. We're going underneath the Wrigley building here. You can see the beautiful skyscrapers there. Hey, Build-A-Bear Workshop. Yeah, we went through Macy's at lunch today. I had to duck into the pedway because it started raining when we were at Daily Plaza. And they got Christmas stuff out. Macy's on State Street has Christmas garland out on the ground floor with all the columns. Hey, Plaza of the Americas there. See how you can line up and take your photo there right by Benito Juarez there. See how they go up there? You can stand right there and you get your picture there with Benito Juarez, the first indigenous president of Mexico back to the 1800s to the Plaza of the Americas. This is in between the north of the Wrigley building there, the annex there. And here we'll head up Michigan Avenue. There's the Tribune. Yeah, isn't that cool? That's cool. Yeah, it's too early. I know, it's not even Thanksgiving. And we got Christmas decorations. They're gonna just keep Christmas decorations up year round. Our whole commercial. Let's see if we can keep this government shutdown going through the holidays. The stock market doesn't care. So if the stock market doesn't care, let's keep it shut down. The current president could cut all the funds to everything besides ICE and the military. They're going to use funds from all over the departments and fire people. And the stock market loves it. So, you know, let's just keep this going for as long as possible. He'll get the I'm joking, I'm being facetious here. I'm becoming a nihilist like the rest of the country. We've become a nation of trolls. We got a troller in chief there. And his little minion there, Shady Vance. Here's the here's the Intercontinental Hotel. Michael Jordan has his restaurant there. Here, look at the mums. Mum's the word here. Yeah, heading up Michigan Avenue, like the rain here. Thanks for tuning in here. We got 200 people tuning in on YouTube. Thank you. We had a good amount over at lunch. We ran into some friends and neighbors there in the South Loop. They said hello. How you doing?
What's up, man?
What's up? I didn't want to talk over it, so good day. That's this Gemini. That's just Gemini. We know this Gemini. He's streaming there. This Gemini, check him out on YouTube. He's probably live on YouTube right now. This Gemini, we saw him at the Art in the Dark. He has a great video of Arts in the Dark. If you want to see the South Shore Drill Team, Ernie and I tried to film it. Ernie got some footage of the South Shore Drill Team. I did as well, but my connection was cutting in and out. This Gemini has a great 60 frames per second, 1080p video of the Arts in the Dark parade that Ernie and I attempted to live stream on Saturday night, but we failed. But he got it, and check out this Gemini on YouTube, another prolific live streamer. A lot of times he does silent, where I know I talk a lot. If you don't like my politics, or if you don't like my talking, my voice, you can watch this Gemini. He doesn't talk over his videos. He shows many of the same things that the rest of us do. And he has a good following there because of that. So there you go. You got an option. There's no excuse. I know you'd rather just sit around and troll me, but I guess that's more fun, right? Yeah. Here's Here's Michigan Avenue. We'll head past La Katrina here. And thanks to other people that do enjoy my weird commentary here. I mean it as a joke. To thine own self be true. But we saw this Gemini. He was at the No Kings as well. He was having connection issues like all of us. It was very... Dan Cruz was at our friend Dan Cruz, who flies the drones. He was at the No Kings. He was actually really close to where Ernie and Overtime Seb and I were standing, but I don't think he was live streaming. I think he just filmed some footage and posted it, which we were like 50 feet away from each other. I didn't know he was there. We met him in Humboldt Park one time. There's La Katrina there. How's La Katrina doing there? Yeah. So people like a rainy day here, like a rainy night. I love a rainy night. Who remembers that song? Hey, they walk down this path. Go to the fountain there, yeah. Look at the star here. Everybody's a star on the Mag Mile. Magnificent Mile Association. Epilogue Zoom there. Phil Goodyear. Vivi, how you doing there? Thanks people for helping out there. So what was the question there? How many people live in Chicago? Yeah, so at its peak, Chris is right. Chicago used to have at its peak 3.5 million. Now we're down to 2.6, 2.7. But that's the square miles. Thanks for the good facts there, Chris. That shows you how vast Chicago is. And I acknowledge that I do not cover the whole city. I just mainly walk from where I work to where I live. I do have 300 videos of the South and West Side. We've gone with Chris and I. We've gone to Pullman. I've gone to South Side, West Side, Garfield Park, West Loop, Pilsen, Little Village, Lawndale, Woodlawn. I know everybody's interested in Inglewood. We have gone to O Block. We've gone to Parkway Gardens. We've gone under the green line. We've gone the pink line, the orange line to Midway. We've done that several times. We've done Metra and Pilsen underneath the tracks there, all the amazing street art. And Ernie covers it, Ernesto, Vicky covers the Southwest Side, and J City Walking Girl. I reposted Nia. She's promoting, there's some Halloween, she always knows the Halloween date spots and the dance parties and the nightlife, you know. Follow Nia there. Nia Aisel, A-I-S-E-L. And we got such a great community of live streamers here in Chicago. And I haven't seen Steve Lyon in a while. We ran into Jody GTV on Saturday. We ran into Alexander Chicago on the week before on the Riverwalk. We posted that. But hey, thanks for tuning in here. Yeah, I'm walking here. Dennis Hoffman there from The Graduate. No, that's from Midnight Cowboy. That's from, yeah. Can you believe Midnight Cowboy got an X rating? You look at it now, it would get like PG-13. Well, I guess it would get R because there is nudity, but it's because it dealt with homosexual themes in 1969 and the country just couldn't handle it then, you know. Here's the Harry Potter store. Look, they got the candles. They added the candles to the trees, so I guess at night they got the floating candles. I remember we saw that Halloween display. Sarah was able to see it 2 years ago. There was a Harry Potter display in Lincoln Park that we filmed with the candles and the trees, the floating candles. And I guess you can buy those there at the Harry Potter store here on Michigan Avenue. It's Huron in Michigan. If you just joined, we're in Chicago. We're heading home from work. It's kind of like a little drizzle, cold rain. It's a cold rain's gonna fall. A hard rain's gonna fall, and it's falling on Chicago. It's an ice rain. You can make all the jokes you want there. We shouldn't joke about it. It's affecting real people's lives and scaring the kids there. All you need to know is when most presidents go to meet the kids at school, the kids are like, wow, there's the president. When Donald Trump goes to meet the kids start crying and screaming and they're scared of him. That's all you need to know. But there's the Allerton Tip Top Tap, Michigan Avenue. Ernie's tuning in, Chicago Nuggies. There's Ernie right there. Follow Chicago Nuggies. Ernesto, yeah, and Dolores, Bill Goodyear, Chris. Thanks for being on. Anita, thanks for being on. I appreciate it. And here we'll head up Michigan Avenue. We'll eventually get to Halloween decorations. We're waiting for it to get kind of dark. We'll just check out the mums here on Michigan Avenue. We got 48 degrees. It's pretty chilly. It's a cold rain. But we'll survive. 1940s, the gangster boss. Well, you talking about the 1920s, Al Capone? I don't know what happened in the 1940s. Al Capone was already died of syphilis. So is you're talking about the leader after that? There's a lot of Chicago crime history pages. You can follow them. We dabble in it just as much as the Untouchable tours. You know, we do where John Dillinger was killed. We do the St. Valentine's Day Massacre. We show where the Schofield's Flower Shop was on State Street, which is across from the Holy Name. There are many grisly things happened in that area. Dean O'Banion was killed, and Vincent Drucci was killed on the steps of the Holy Name Cathedral. And the Untouchable tours still point out where the bullet holes are in the steps there. I need to find that out. Yeah, the Winter Woolies. Yeah, I don't know if I didn't see any lightning. It's just some cold rains flowing through here, you know, passing through here. There's the water tower. There's the Great Water Tower, Chicago. There's the Park Hyatt there. There's the 900 North Michigan. The Four Seasons is right there. We'll head. This is Chicago Avenue. You get to the Museum of Contemporary Art. They got a Yoko Ono exhibit, but they're turning off the fountains. I don't know if Ernie, is the Buckingham Fountain still on? I know they turned the Centennial Fountain back on, but here, we'll head through here so I don't annoy people. I'm annoying people with my voice here. So here's the John Hancock. There's the Ritz-Carlton, Great Water Tower, Chicago. Yeah, they'll light it up nice. Hey, we'll go look for some Halloween decorations as we head to the magic hour with the overcast skies. The Volo Museum has a gangster exhibit. Chris, thanks for the good info there. So, this building here, this is called the John Hancock, 875 North Michigan. It's 1,100 feet tall. It's over 300 meters tall, and it's 100 stories. But the observation decks is on the 94th. The 95th and 96th used to be a restaurant and a bar, but they closed those down because people stopped going to it after the pandemic as much. And we don't know what's going to happen with it. That was a loss. Because you used to be able to go up there and get a drink at the 96th. I used to enjoy doing that. But hopefully they'll get it back going. This whole block is vacant. This whole block is empty here across from Water Tower Place. The upper floor is a Water Tower Place, smaller, vacant. They're going to repurpose them. They were having a winter farmer's market up there. You can go to the 7th floor, and there's the Harry Carey's. But here we'll head up Michigan Avenue here. That used to be the Playboy building. Before it was the Playboy, it was the Palm Olive building. It was built as the Palm Olive building, the dish soap. And then it became the Playboy building after Hugh Hefner moved his operations to Gold Coast from Hyde Park in 1959 and bought the original Playboy mansion. We might go near there tonight. And the original Playboy Club used to be a block up here. The ones that used to have the key to, it was up here at Walton and Michigan, but it was torn down to build the One Magnificent Mile building, which we'll go by. But here's the John Hancock 100-story stall. We were just talking about it. Observation decks on the 94th. I got a video where we go up there with my cousin, my relatives, and we do the tilt. It's a fun time. My cousin Casey, who works construction there, he's not afraid of heights. He was leaning on the glass and dancing around and put on a good show. So, hey, thanks for that. That made that video. People liked it. So here they got the purple ribbons here. I guess that's breast cancer awareness. All the towers are usually in a purple fuchsia for October's breast cancer awareness month. Hey, look, got the nice messages here at the Fourth Presbyterian Church. This is where they had My Best Friend's Wedding movie all those years ago. Hey, look at 900 North Michigan with the spire. There's bells in there. It still does pretty intricate chiming sometimes. There's Delaware. Yeah, the 94th floor. So the 94th floor, fortunately, the observation deck is still on the 94th. I know what you're talking about. You're talking about the 95th and 96th. The 95th was the signature room restaurant, and the 96th was the signature lounge there on the John Hancock. But at least it hasn't become a billionaire's condo yet. Here's George Lucas lives at the top of the Park Hyatt. And the guy's from Citadel, he moved to Florida, so I think he sold him his unit. Here's the 900 North Michigan building. Yeah, pretty soon we'll look at that. They got the crazy spider baby. I like the digital screens they got here. This is the 900 North Michigan building here. Yeah, eventually they'll decorate for Christmas. We went there last year and they had the angel singing there. She had an angelic voice. Yeah, sometimes we go by Portillo's. Maybe later in the week we'll go up Clark Street. I'm not going to go over there now because we're already past it. I'm heading home. We're going to start looking for Halloween decorations. But yeah, there's a Portillo's. How you doing? I saw this Gemini as well.
I saw him.
Yeah, he was right there, and then now you. That's good.
Yeah, I saw him and I was like, wait, should I say hi to him? But I think I ruined his live stream.
I know. I already did it too because I tapped him on the shoulder and then he turned, but he talked first. He said hello, and I said, oh, I don't want to ruin your license. And he goes like that, and he walked away. So it's okay. He's used to it. We just become the background. But he's been doing the side. He was able. Thanks for posting the this. Hey, this is Ernie Chicago Nuggies. How you doing here? He was at the Arts in the Dark parade, and he must have filmed it. He has the whole thing.
Oh, really?
And so I've been telling people. I'm glad you posted.
Was he there when it was raining? Because it was raining.
I know. As soon as did you make it home before it rained?
I made it before.
Good.
It started raining. It started drizzling when I got to my house.
It's good we left when we did because it started pouring when I got home. Yeah.
Wait, so when you got home it was pouring already?
Yeah. Well, no. I made it home and I was laying on the couch and I was looking at the footage and then I looked outside and it was just dumping the rain. It was like 15 minutes after I made it home. So.
I got something surprise. I'm gonna surprise my live stream later today because I got a little ending, dramatic ending. I'm gonna start like in 1 hour.
You're gonna start in 1 hour. So perfect. I'll be done by then. So yeah, watch Ernie tonight.
Yeah, tonight.
Watch Ernie Chicago Nuggies. He's gonna do a special surprise at the end.
Chris, everybody that's
Chris, are you seeing this? Chris is tuning in. I saw you were in here. You might have said you were behind me.
I was over there by Penn Express. I was eating because I just got out of work. I got out of work and I was eating, and then I saw that you were live. I was like, wait, you're like 20 minutes behind schedule.
Well, because I couldn't get out of work. But hey, thanks for posting the South Shore Drill Team.
Real quick, I just wanted to let you know that I think this weekend there's gonna be something going on at Lincoln Park Zoo. They're gonna have like a Halloween stuff going on.
Is that for the kids? Where the kids dress up? Yeah.
Dress up, and then on Halloween there's gonna be like a lot of people in costumes. So you want to check?
Oh, the
action. I'm gonna be checking it out because when I used to work there, they used to have like Halloween stuff going on.
Good. Thanks for that. So this weekend.
This weekend.
Lincoln Park Zoo, possibly. Maybe next weekend.
Yeah, it's the Day of the Dead and all that.
Well, we'll coordinate. We'll message each other. But hey, see Ernie. So watch Ernie tonight. He's got a special surprise for everybody there, Chris. So hey, see, we saw this Gemini and we saw Ernie Chicago Nuggies there. Thanks for saying hello. That's great. I saw him in the chat. He probably was like, slow down, and I was like, I didn't see it. Here, see, this is where the original Playboy. Oh, I almost slipped. It's very slippery on this sidewalk there. They got the stupid granite curb. And it messes everything up. Well, here's what we'll do. So we'll go up and down. Cedar and Maple and Elm, and we'll look for Halloween decorations here. Hopefully the rain will hold off. It's kind of blowing the rain here. We're across from the Drake here. And, Yeah, the Drake Hotel. There's the Oak Street Beach is right over there. I want to cross the street, but I missed the light because I was lollygagging around here. Yeah, there's a nice view to the John Hancock behind the former Palmolive Playboy building there. Michigan Avenue. We're up here by One Magnificent Mile. Here we're up by Oak Street. Hey, they got the purple lights here. So hey, let's show the purple lights on Oak Street. Yeah, so I'm glad they got these back on. They start in Halloween time with the purple lights at the high-end shopping district here on Oak Street. This begins the Gold Coast of Chicago. Yeah, look at the nice trees here in the rain. Yeah, well, there's the Esquire Theater. Wow, look at the beautiful purple lights. We could say this is for Breast Cancer Awareness Month, but I think it's for Halloween, and then they reuse these lights for Christmas time. So, look at that, the Esquire Theater. This is Oak Street in Chicago. And we'll go past the Bathing Ape here. We'll go past all these Chanel No. 5, the Esquire Theater. Yeah, I should stop at the Drake for a cocktail. That's a good idea. They got that Palm Court or whatever that room is there. People go for brunch, and I just want to get home. It's cold and rainy. I'll get home and have dinner. Here's Graf. Here's a crease. So they just added this. They added this. Look how they pushed the facade back, and they got a big glass thing. They've been working on this. This is the new crease here. 67 West Oak Street near. Here's Chanel No. 5. Let's see what they got. But look at the nice fall displays here. There's the security. Chanel No. 5. Look at that. Look at the nice, beautiful window display here. We got the nice purple lights here. We'll head around. How you doing? That's the security there. And I'm sure he was wondering what I was doing filming there. Window display. Here's Van Cleef, Montclair, and yeah, Le Colonial, this nice restaurant. It's Vietnamese, French fusion here at Le Colonial. We'll show you what it looks like here. There, Le Colonial. Look at that nice window. Harry Winston, they share a wall with Harry Winston there. Lowe's, or that's not Lowe. And with all the purple lights here. Ms. Morello's studio. Look at that big window. Tory Burch. I wonder if Michael's here. Bravco Beauty. Yeah. I think that's Michael right there sweeping up. Bravco Beauty. Check it out. We remember when we met his late father, Howard, and Barbara. Barbara was telling us about all the old discotheques and the old stores, and some of these places had pools and stuff. Here's Lafayette, but check out Bravco Beauty there. Bravco Beauty on Oak Street. It's a family-owned business for 45 years there. And look, Armani. They could tell the stories about when Robin Williams came in there asking for a razor. Michael tells the story great. He's like, I think Howard was working. He didn't recognize Keith Richards, but Keith Richards was like looking for a jacket or something. But Robin Williams came in, and he goes, "You got a razor?" He was like in town for something. This was years ago, and Howard gives him like a regular razor, and he goes, "Is this what you're looking for? Just like a regular, shaving razor?" And he goes, "If I use this, it'll take all week." He wanted like a big, like heavy duty, like electric razor or something. And he was, and as we know, Robin Williams is a pretty hairy guy. Maybe he was gonna. I don't think he would shave his back. He wouldn't want to do that. Oh my God! But he had a nice self-deprecating humor. That's why we love that guy so much, and we miss him. Here, Prada, the Devil Wears Prada. So I didn't mean to go over to Rush Street here so soon, but I want to check out the purple lights there. Maybe we'll just go down Elm Street, or we could go down Cedar and come back. Maybe we'll do that. Man, it's still alive. Marshall Fields. Yeah, it's Macy's. How did the drop? I thought I cleared that off. How did the drop get on my screen there? There, I cleared it off. Good. There was a drop on the droplet on the lens there. Ah, we all missed Robin Williams. I was shocked. I was shocked when I heard the news, and that was a long time ago. It seems like he was just yesterday, but he's been gone a long time. There's Gibson's. So this is the Tavern on Rush here. Moved over here. There's the Pancake House, Lux Bar, Bellevue. Here's the Gibson's. This is the Hugo's Frog Bar across the street here. See, there's that Yoko Ono exhibit that's in the Modern Museum of Art there. Everybody's inside. No one's sitting outside today. It's 48 degrees and rainy. Well, there's some people. The valets are sitting outside. There's Mariana Park. Yeah, the fountain's still on, but they're probably going to turn off that fountain pretty soon. They're turning off a lot of the other fountains here. Here's On Cloud here, Federer's store. The Carmine's is above. I don't know what they're waiting for opening Carmine's. Maybe they're waiting for taxes to go down. They'll never open it. Tavern on Rush there. Yeah, Michigan. How you doing there, Debbie? Gary. Well, they do it in Europe. They do it in France. They do it in Italy. They've been doing it for hundreds of years. A lot of times that's the charm of, you know, the cafes there in Paris. We try to emulate it in America, but we don't do it as good. I know you're probably being good company with my father. One time I convinced him to eat on Clark Street, which has really narrow streets, especially by where I live. And I said, let's sit outside. And he's like, okay. And then a bus pulled up next. It was belching smoke right next to the table. A homeless person came up and asked us for money while we're eating. You know, he's like, why are we sitting outside? It's not enjoyable. I said, I'm sorry. So I see what you mean. There's positive, negatives, everything. So, oh, the ambience of the city. Honks of horns and people yelling. ICE will pull up and flip over your table and kick you in the butt and just say, that's what you get for not voting for Trump. We're here to terrorize and spread havoc. Show your identity. Well, we can't do that. We love the mask, but we hate it when people wore the mask for the pandemic. But we love the mask now, so we could round up some people here, terrorize some communities. The Supreme Court says it's okay to profile. Here, we'll head through Elm State, which I disagree with. So, should we help? Elm Street. Yeah, let's go down Elm Street here. So I know there's some good Halloween decorations down this way, and then we can either go up Astor and cut through the Gold Coast. We'll zig and zag. Yeah, come outside. Come out and play. Yeah, domestic terrorists. What cracks me up, like, okay, so I'm just as bad. You know, we all live in our own reality. We all use our illusion. We all believe what we want to believe. The AI makes it possible, okay? Post-truth world. You know, people thought they were like getting a burn, and they're like, wow, look, people are out walking about in the Loop of Chicago. They feel safe to come out because ICE is protecting Chicago. That is false. People in Little Village, business is down. It's affecting economic activity. People are, if you want to support the community, go to 26th Street Little Village. Eat it at Las Camales. You go to El Nopal, the bakery there. Support our friends and neighbors that live in Chicago. U.S. citizens that are part of the Hispanic community. Their businesses are being hurt. Can you believe okay, I don't know what city this was in. There was a Italian restaurant. I don't mean to, oops, I'm talking too loud. How you doing? Sorry. I heard somebody talk. I didn't know where it was coming from. Here, here, look at I'll get off of this. I won't even, all I'll say is it was a restaurant that was flipping off the people in the No Kings, and they posted it. So I think that restaurant lost 50% of their business, especially if they live in an American city, big American city, probably 90% of their business, because now if people are against Trump, they're not going to go to that business because they flipped off and yelled obscenities, like racial epithets, obscenities to the people in the No Kings March, and then they expect us to buy their food and, you know, go to their business. You know, they might as well put a Confederate flag in front of their pizza store there, you know. And I'm serious. We're taking this seriously here because it's affecting people. And we're energized because U.S. citizens are chasing ICE out of their communities out of shame. They're en masse blowing whistles and shaming them and saying, how can you live with yourself and take off the mask? And I don't care, anybody, right, left, up, down, you have a right to know who's arresting you, even if you're not a U.S. citizen. And is there not a more humane way to do this? And if you say no, there isn't, you like the cruelty of it. You like the cruelty of the policy. You like the havoc it's causing. You want to make the big city suffer. And we won't forget it. Here's, yeah, see, look at this beautiful housing here. Oh, sorry. Oh, he's jogging across the street there. Look at the beautiful housing here on, this is Elm Street, Nightmare on Elm Street. This is the Gold Coast, Chicago. If we would come here a little later, they might have lights on, but here, look at the nice skeletons. We filmed this before. Look at the nice skeleton there. I like that. It's almost like Dia de los Muertos. Here's the, hey, look at, I don't remember her though. There's, maybe she's turns around or something. I think that's, hey, here's the little metal skeleton. This is usually what we do. We film the Halloween decorations here. This one's crazy because they had a battery in there that used to crawl around. That little kid used to crawl around, and it was tied to a string. And there's the dog with the rat in it. Look at this guy. It's got the kid's got the hand in the pumpkin. Look at this. Wow. Oh man, that's freaky. It's eating the barbed wire. These are like little zombie babies. That is weird. I don't know what's with the baby theme. That's kind of creepy. But hey, across the way we got some Halloween day. This is Elm Street, Nightmare on Elm Street, Chicago, Illinois here. So here we'll head across. They were trying to fit in that parking spot. Good luck. Look at that. Look how the stairs funnel down to the garden apartment there. But hey, here we go. See, it's the buildings combined with the Halloween decorations here that make it so nice. Look at that. Orange skeletons. What's that? Ha! So hey, welcome to the Gold Coast of Chicago. Here we're on Elm Street. We're just checking out Halloween decorations here. Hopefully, maybe we'll go up Astor Street, see if they got the lights turned on. So Gary, go ahead and talk yourself into the face blue. I'm not saying we should not enforce our borders. We should get people that are here illegally enforce our laws. Is there not a more humane way to do it? That's all I'm asking. Why? What's with the scare tactics? Why do you got to have masks? You know why they wear masks? It's because they're private contractors. They're protecting being sued. They're afraid that people, U.S. citizens, will sue them for violating their Fourth or First Amendment rights. You notice how ICE melts into a dish rag anytime they realize it's a U.S. citizen that's yelling at them, because technically there's nothing they can do. They cannot arrest U.S. citizens. They could try to threaten and intimidate, and they could violate your Fourth and First Amendment rights, and then you could sue the shit out of them. And watch the Trump administration leave all these ICE agents dangle. Watch, once they're over, they'll let them be sued personally, just like police officers, wrongful death cases. And you know, a police officer could violate your Fourth or First Amendment rights. Usually it's the municipalities, and usually the police officer just loses their job. We're fighting back in other ways. The courts of Cook County have said that ICE should wear body cams. Is that too much to ask? Wear body cams. Be accountable for how you handle your operations. Don't tell little kids to fuck off. ICE is telling little kids to fuck off. Excuse my language, but if you're offended by my language, why should ICE be telling kids to fuck off while they slam them to the ground? Don't say they're not doing it. They're stalking schools. And I'm not going to have a heart attack. I'm just livid. And I'm energized by U.S. citizens shaming ICE, yelling at them, women going into their face, yelling at ICE with guns, saying, oh, you feel like a big man there, intimidating American citizens with guns. This is not going to stand. And if I offend you, good. I'm offended by the actions of this administration. And if I lose my social media account, it'll be worth it. Because we've done it before. So hey, we'll go to start looking for Halloween decorations. And do your worst. Do your worst. Go ahead. We're ready for a fight because we feel like the government's attacking our city. It's our own government doing this to us. And, you know, you're going to sit there and argue and say, oh, they broke the law. The President of the United States broke the law. He should not have been allowed to be president again. But it shows you how bad the government is at enforcing their own laws. And I've said many critical things about Biden. Don't think I'm a card-carrying Democrat, because I've said many negative things about the Democratic Party too, and will continue to do so. They take corporate money too. And I lived in the 1990s when the war on drugs violated my First and Fourth Amendment rights, and that was under Bill Clinton. And I don't forget that either. Bill Clinton would throw me in jail just as much as George Bush or Obama or Biden or Trump. This is bigger than all this. So hey, welcome to Chicago. Here's Astor Street. Here's hey, look at the witches here. Hey, you've got a skeleton playing the piano there. Oh, look at this. Isn't this great? Look at the skeleton there. Look at the we've seen this before. It's starting to rain here again. It's starting to drizzle, which is perfect for these Halloween decorations here. So Astor Street, the Gold Coast, Chicago. There's the witches with the cauldron. There's the cat. Look at the nice spiders here. Wow, look at that. Look at the witch. See, it's the housing combined with the Halloween decorations. And we'll head up Astor Street, see if they got the lights turned on. Thanks for tuning in. Sorry I get so animated. I'm not having a heart attack. I'm doing this a lot for theatrics. I'm just showing people, you know, people are going to put in the comments, they're going to be like, you know, call me a traitor, call me un-American, call me a socialist, call me a communist, call Chicago a piece of shit. We're used to all this. It's not, people have been saying that for 2.5 years, even when Biden was president, they were saying that. So this is, how can America be great without great cities? How can America be great when the president bashes the cities of the country he is supposed to represent? Hey, here we go. Look at that. Spells and potions. Spells and potions. Look at that. Look at the frog. Yeah, madness. Welcome to the madness. They called it the Madhouse on Madison. Spells and potions there. Hey, here we go. We got the ghost here. Hey, got some lights on. So last year they had the Wizard of Oz Friends Halloween display here. Here they got the hands in the trees. We got wow, look at that. So hey, we got bats. Yeah, last year they had flying monkeys. They did have this, which is nice. The kind of personification of the plant there, the tree there, with the female form. Hey, look, we got cute little. Look at that. We got cute little Dia de los Muertos mariachi band there. The Three Amigos there in the window. And here, let me wipe down the camera here. Here's the Undertaker. So the Undertaker on Crilly Court fell over. Maybe the wind blew it over. This is the, oh, hey, how you doing there? That's me, Brian Ray Chicago. How you doing there? So hey, you can take a screen capture and draw on my face there. Here, let me flip this around here. Flip camera. There we go. Hey, I guess I'm the Undertaker. Hey, say, hold on. What's happening is raindrops are hitting my screen. A raindrop hit the screen and flipped the camera around, which is fine. I've shown my safe face many times. That was the biggest scare of the night, seeing my face there all close up there. I got you by surprise there. I think Deo Talk is successfully, but he went overseas to do it. He's from Brooklyn. He's from New York. He's been living abroad for a year and a half now. And He's has well over 100,000 followers, and he's never shown his face. That's hard to do. I don't think Deo Talk has Deo Talk ever shown his face. You know what I'm talking about? He's a, in my opinion, he's a legendary live streamer that streamed all over the world. He went to Auschwitz and live streamed at Auschwitz and took the comments without moderators. Who does that? Here's Here's the Halloween decorations here on Astor Street, Gold Coast, Chicago. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. How you doing here? Yeah, look, we got the magic hour here on a rainy night here. We got Tuesday, October the 21st here. We're on Astor Street. We'll cut over here. I know there's some good Halloween decorations if we head back over to State. But hey, look at the beautiful buildings here. You know, the buildings themselves are a treat, and then you add the Halloween decorations. And hey, the splat witch there. Hey, look at this giant cat skeleton. Look at this. That's a nice giant cat skeleton there. And you got the witch in the window there. Look at this guy who's hanging out here. You got the fence here. 1246 Astor Street. Yeah, this is park over here. Hey, it's a rainy night. You love a rainy night there? Yeah, it's fall. Look, the leaves are starting to fall on some of the trees. Yeah, how you doing? We're heading through here. There we go. Goethe. We're Goethe and Astor Street, Gold Coast, Chicago. I'm heading home from work. There we go. So, I don't think there's anything down that way. We'll go another block. I see some lights here. Yeah, we'll go by John Wellborn Root's house here. Historically, the architect that was a partner with Daniel Burnham. We went by the Rookery today. We were talking about Daniel Burnham and all the old architects, William LeBaron Jenny, Halliburton and Roche, that built these vintage skyscrapers. And they used to live here. I mean, John Wellborn Root lived one of these two. They got a sign here. And this is the housing on Astor Street, one block in from, there it is, John Wellborn Root, architect, partner of Daniel Burnham. Hey, here we go. This is new. This was not up last time. So this is a great block here. These stone facades on Astor Street between Goethe and Schiller. Look at that. Wow, look at that beak. It's like a Birdman from like the Dark Crystal or something. Look at that. That is freaky. I hope it moves. Maybe they'll turn it on closer to Halloween. I'm sure it has animatronics, but they don't have it turned on. And look at that. Look how nice this looks. See, it's the buildings combined with the Halloween decorations that make it so striking. And look at the spiders. Hey, there's the Annabelle with the look at that. Look at the skeletons. Yeah, I think there's going to be a bridge lift tomorrow. Yeah, thanks for reminding me of that. I got a meeting, and I got a morning meeting, and once I get out of that meeting, we'll try to rush over to the Chicago River. We filmed it last Wednesday. There might be more boats now that it's finally turning cooler. I think the boats will quickly leave the harbors. We were at Diversity Harbor early this week, and we saw the boats coming out of the harbor here, over there. Yeah, we'll go one more street here. I think this is Scott Street. Yeah, so we'll see the Lake Michigan's that way. Look at these beautiful co-op condo apartment buildings here on Astor Street. Hey, good evening, Ron. How you doing there? Jeff, Tamara, how you doing there? Subi, Kelly. What happened to all the trolls? I started yelling and they all like reported my account. Who's the snowflake now? They can't stand to have any opposition. They're used to everybody cheering and waving red hats. They think everybody's on board with the program when they realize they're not. When have Americans ever agreed about anything? Never. Here's the, look at that. See, there's a ballroom on the top there. You can rent out the back there. This is the Astor Court here. And this is a single family residential. Originally they broke it up. They got many units in the back there. Look, they still got the palm tree. And here's the Charlie Persky house we showed all the time. Louis Sullivan was the architect. You could take tours. And Frank Lloyd Wright was a draftsman, worked on it. I should probably show it from across the way. And yeah, look at that door. There's always a car coming around the corner here. But here we're Astor and Schiller. This is a nice building as well. We go by it all the time. Jennifer, you should eat walks through this neighborhood too often. Oh, you can't see it because of the trees, so we'll cross the street. I'll show, yeah, that's what we can do. We'll check out these Halloween decorations, and then we'll go, we'll cut over to State Street. So hey, we filmed these before, but in case you haven't seen them live, here are the Halloween decorations on Astor Street, Gold Coast, Chicago. Look at that. Look at the, they got some Dia de los Muertos inflatables. They got a ghost. Look at this witch. Huh? Hey, I like the ghost coming out of there. And again, it's the buildings combined with the Halloween decorations here. That one got blown over, but look at the amount of pumpkins and gourds. They got a werewolf. This is Astor Street, north of Schiller, Gold Coast, Chicago. Hey, they got a little Chicago flag. Look how the skeleton's holding a little Chicago flag. See it waving in the wind there. Hey, it's blinking there. Nice lights here. The dog likes it. Hey, how you doing there, skeleton? You guarding the whole place here. Hey, look, there's the Bears fan. There's the Bears fan with the witches and the frog. Yeah, go Bears. Got the Chicago flag. See, look at the Chicago pride. Look at the Chicago pride. We have pride for our city, unlike the president. How can a politician not understand? How can a politician piss off an entire city, you know, and still expect, I guess he has nothing to lose, and that's why he is a lame duck, because, you know, why would you act this way? He acts like he never has to run for election again, when people question why we do the No Kings. Does he work for the people or himself? Good evening, Ron. How you doing there? I already saw that. Sorry. At least the comments are still working. Yeah, that's the Chicago flag. That's what the Chicago flag looks like. It has 4 red stars. The stars have 6 points. People confuse it with the Israeli flag. It's not. It's the Chicago flag. It's been the Chicago flag longer than Israel has been a country. The 4 stars stand for the Century Progress, the World Columbia Exposition, the Great Chicago Fire, and the Fort Dearborn, which was destroyed by the Potawatomi. And the two light blue bands represent the north and south branches of the river there on the flag. Here, look at this, under contract. Hey, we got some, there's Mickey Mouse and the pumpkin. We got some little skeletons here. I want to film, I'm not trying to film you, I'm trying to film the Halloween decoration. I appreciate it. Dog's just smelling around there. Here we go. Here we got the two-headed skeleton. And there, look at the unicorn. Wow, here's a unicorn. Hey, it's talking. Oh, come on, you can do it. You moved and then you stopped. I guess it has to. But here, look at the unicorn here. Where do you get a unicorn skeleton? I guess they added that. They kind of look. It's got a little something in its mouth there. I like that. There's the zombie. The little skeletons in the tree. Hey, look at these. Yeah. Hey, look at that zombie. I like that. Very nice. So here we got Halloween decorations here, Astor Street. Thanks for tuning in. Here, look at that porch. Wow. Yeah. Chris, are people just like chanting slogans and yard signs? And yeah, you know, what happened to like an intelligent counter argument? You know, do they know? Do you know what the Fourth Amendment is? Do you know what the Third Amendment is? Third Amendment is you don't have to house soldiers in your house. Why is that the Third Amendment? Why does anybody even care about that? Before the Revolutionary War, the King of England, if you were a colonist in America, you had if they came to your house, like ICE came to your house, they said, we need a place to stay for the night. We have to quarter in your house. You have to put us up. And you had kids and daughters, and you got these foreign soldiers from England staying in your house there with guns, and it pissed people off. And so that's what the Third Amendment is. Fourth Amendment is unlawful search and seizure. See, we're having an education moment here. First Amendment, freedom of speech, freedom of assembly. But you have the right to free speech. The Supreme Court has ruled you're allowed to flip off a police officer. Now, I wouldn't recommend it. I usually try to respect police officers, and hopefully they respect me. But, you know, it's free speech is also the right to be offended. And I know it gets confusing with hate speech, because people confuse free speech with hate speech. Now, hate speech is a little different. But talk to my lawyer, and that's the reason that what we're on right now is not free speech. Any social media platform is not free speech. It's corporate monetized speech. They have a bunch of words you can't say, you'll get banned for saying, and it's probably a good thing. Tries to keep things civil, but then people find workarounds. They find other words that fill in for other words. We use code words. We've all been doing this for centuries. But here, oh, they got some. Okay, let's cross the street here. We're at State Street and Schiller. I think they got the lights on here, so we'll check out the Halloween decorations here on Schiller Street, State Street. Hey, look at that! They got they got the nice mannequin here. Hey, thanks for tuning in to Chicago.
Kind of scary. I'd stay away if I were you.
Oh, we better stay away. Oh, look, potions and poisons, yeah. You got the fountain, Medusa.
Large enough to hide. Do you mind throwing a blanket over me?
That's what was talking there. Hey, here's the Halloween decorations here on...
Welcome to my home. Watch your step. I wouldn't want you to break a bone, but if you do, you can borrow one of mine.
We're on Schiller Street, just west of State Street. We're check. See, they got some nice lights on the trees. Yeah, they got the faces and the arms, kind of like the Wizard of Oz there, where the trees grab them. And yeah, this is pretty good. They had this last year. They got some really good mannequins here. Oh, look at that. That's freaky. Look how freaky that is. Yeah. How you doing? He's laughing at me. Look at. I like the little raven here. That's nice. Hey. This is a talking spider. Look at the candles. Oh, that's freaky there. And you talk? You say anything? Mum's the word. Hey, see, they got the freaky trees there. Oh, this looks nice. Look at the uplighting here. So we got a 3-car garage. This is new construction. I mean, this is a newer building that they added to this corner, but it's still really beautiful how they did it. And it matches the historic stuff here. This is the Gold Coast of Chicago. This is Schiller Street at Dearborn, I think. And yeah, let's head up Dearborn. Let's see if there's anything up this way. But hey, welcome to Chicago, October the 12th, 2025. We're checking out Halloween decorations as we walk home here. Yeah. Christmas decorations. Yeah, we'll check out the Christmas decorations later in the season. So this is a nice creepy house. They had some really nice decorations last year, but I guess they decided, or maybe someone else lives there now. So here we'll head up Dearborn Street. Hey, there's the skeleton. Look at that. They still got the palms in the balconies. That's nice. No, it's did I say October 12th? It's October the 21st. Today's Tuesday, October the 21st, 2025. Sometimes I'm kind of dyslexic. I reverse numbers. The longer I talk, I don't realize it until I watch the rerun. So take everything I say with a grain of salt, even when I get animated and talk politics. A lot of times, just let it go one end and out the other. I'm venting, and I'm mostly just trying to chase the trolls away, and I chased everybody else away, and all my mods too. So that's what I get. Here's the look at that. Here's the under contract. Look at the beautiful staircases here. I mean, they don't even have to decorate. And look at the mums. Look at the mums here, the beautiful mums, yellow mums on Dearborn Street. We're just south of North Avenue here, going by the Latin School. Yeah, it's all Newsom's fault. Did Governor Jerry Brown have anything to do with it? Does anybody remember the Dead Kennedys? The Dead Kennedys were a punk band, a hardcore punk band in the early 80s. They had a song, Holiday in Cambodia, but they also had a song, California Uber Allies, California over everybody else. And so you could apply that to Gavin Newsom there. And it said that at the time, the governor was Jerry Brown. Well, he came back and was governor again in the 2000s. Governor, he said, "My name is Governor Jerry Brown. My aura smiles and never frowns. Someday I'll be president." Well, you could say that about Gavin Newsom there. So who are the contenders for the 2028 on the left there? I guess, of course, Gavin Newsom. Rahm Emanuel's going to run. We know his ego's that big. He was mayor of Chicago, so we know the entire time he was mayor of Chicago, he was just trying to use it as a stepping stone to become president. We know Rahm Emanuel, so that's great. All power to him, you know. J.B. Pritzker's going to run for president. He's getting in that presidential weight. He's been exercising on the lakefront. Who else is going to run on the left? Do you think Kamala's going to run again? I don't know. Usually that doesn't happen. Usually, if you run and lose, that's it. But here, let's head over. We'll head over to Clark Street here. Governor Moonbeam. That's good, Joellen. I like that. Yeah. Yeah, it's like the set of the Monster House there. You're right. Gen X, how you doing there? Tara remembers them. Yeah, you remember the Dead Kennedys? Yeah. Myrna. Yeah, we got so many mums. Look at all the mums. Go ahead. That's the bus they're turning. And here's the. Yeah, someone was asking Jennifer about those crosswalks that connect the high school with the middle school for the Latin school there. But this is a bus turnaround for the North Avenue 72 bus. It turns around and heads back. It doesn't go any further because it would go into the lake. So this is the furthest east the 72 North Avenue bus goes. I think that's what it is. Yeah, it goes all the way to Harlem and north. This is the History Museum of Chicago, and this is why I asked Jennifer you should eat, and she helped me out. What this fountain's called? It's called the Children's Fountain. Even though it looks really old, like Jennifer said, they use molds. And they created this in 1982 under the Jane Byrne administration, and they put it here. It wasn't always here. They moved it here eventually for the History Museum there. There, I saw some question there about. Oh yeah, I'm sure J.B. Pritzker's going to run for president. That's why. I know he's not everybody's cup of tea. I'm not trying to sell people. We're just talking about it, And he's smart enough. He's a billionaire too. He's smart enough to know that if he battles publicly at the national level with the president over the National Guard and the separation of powers between the governors, and Gavin Newsom's doing the same thing. He's trolling J.D. Vance and Trump administration because they troll him. And as they troll each other, just like the WWF or the WWE, when Hulk Hogan would have the big WrestleMania against Andre the Giant, they would talk smack. And the more they talk smack, the more people would tune in. So Trump needs a foil. He needs somebody to say, hey, that's the bad guy. and that's Gavin Newsom and J.B. Pritzker, and they get to be the villain, and they're happy to do it, but they get name recognition. People know who they are, and maybe someone will listen to what they say. And so it's this game. And Elon Musk played that game, you know, and then he's in with Trump, and then he's out. All the drama, all the little reality TV, just says, let's call it The Apprentice there, you know. And we got The Apprentice in the White House. How's everybody doing here? Welcome to Chicago. Here's is Chicago good at night? Good question. Yeah, you tell me. You stumped the chump there. I'm going to plead the fifth on that one. Is anything really good or bad? Sympathy for the devil. Some people think it's dangerous. Other people call it excitement. Some people, you know, scroll through all the scrolls looking for blood and violence. It is Halloween. Here, Chicago History Museum. There's the big molten piece of rock there. Should I cross the street? Do we have time? I don't know if I got time here. No, I don't have time. Oh, they're turning left. Maybe I can go across after the left turn here. Let's see. Yeah, good. So hey, let's cross here. So here's your check on Chicago gas prices. I heard gas prices went down, even though I'm sure they're more expensive here than where you're at, unless you live in California or Seattle. Here's your Chicago gas prices here. This is one of the most expensive gas stations in the whole city. It's the BP at LaSalle and Clark Street. We're up by Lincoln Park here. So there's the Lincoln Park. Lincoln Park is that way, LaSalle statue. There's a nice view to the Sears Tower over here. It's still spitting rain, so I gotta clear off my lens here, and we'll get you a view to the Sears Tower, the Board of Trade. All this fun stuff here. There we go. Look at the Sears Tower in purple. Look how nice it looks there. There's your Sears Tower in Chicago. We'll cross the street here and we'll film it. So here we got the light. We'll cross the street here. We'll film the Sears Tower there. That's very nice. Yeah, look how that looks. You can look down to the Board of Trade. We were by the Board of Trade earlier today there. Lunchtime there. There it is. Yeah, Chicago's windy. The wind's picking up today. Yeah, let's head up this way. We'll stick on Clark Street. This is Eugenie. We went by the Duck House last night. We went by Crilly Court. I posted it to YouTube. I still post the reruns to TikTok there. May, how you doing there? It's late at night for May. Yeah, it's past midnight. Is it past midnight? I don't know. Yeah, I guess it is. In Europe or England. Yeah, we went by Moody's there. Sorry I didn't get a better view of it there. But yeah, the Moody Bible Institute, the actual college, is down by Chicago Avenue, but we went by the Moody Church. There's the Moody Church, which was right behind that gas station where I showed the gas prices. Here's Eugenie Terrace. Remember when we went to the top there with Jeremy and we watched the Air and Water show? That was amazing. Ernie's been up there. Steve Lyon. Isn't that great? There's Eugenie Terrace there. Look at the trees here. Yeah, the Institute's further south. That's what I just said. It's down by Chicago Avenue. Thank you. Thanks for corroborating what I just said. I appreciate it. I know sometimes I might have said it backwards or the wrong way. Rightwards is the right way, not backwards, but forwards. We'll head up Clark Street. Yeah, this rain's kind of turning into a dull drizzle here. The wind's not helping. But hey, it helps with the spooky vibes here, right? Oh yeah, there's a lot of Jewish people in Chicago, a lot of Polish people, a lot of Irish, Italian, African American, Latino, Mexican American. We got Asian American, Chinatown. We got everything. Here's the workout place here. And there's some really creepy buildings. Here's the Herman Baptist Church. I remember when they were still having church services here, but then it became a dance club, like a dance rehearse right to the front there. These are some great buildings here on Clark Street. He's got some spooky vibes here. We're by the Lincoln Hotel. That's not your imagination. That's the face of Abraham Lincoln on the side of that building. That's the Lincoln Hotel in Chicago. Rose Park, all the parks. Oak Park. Here at the then try to, like, you know, keep creeping up on me if I'm trying to get across the street. I'm like, you just go first. I can wait. There's the Lincoln Hotel. Pineapple pizza. Scientology? Oh, we're talking about Scientology. Yeah, I'm jealous. I want to be like L. Ron Hubbard and start a religion. We are building a religion. Like the Cake song. We are adding more lanes to resist. Yeah, League of Nations. We got people from all corners of the globe. The only city that has more probably is New York City. New York City literally has, I'm sure, enclaves from every nation throughout the world. Chicago probably has just as much as LA. Houston's more diverse than people realize. There's a lot of international ethnicities in Houston, and it's more suburban in Houston. It's picking up here. Let's go up here. I'm not seeing any Halloween decorations here. Yeah, let's go up. I want to cut up Orleans. We haven't gone up Orleans. There might not be Halloween decorations on this. There's this 1 block stretch of Orleans, but I want to check it out because the buildings are just beautiful, and we'll check them out in the dark. Just like these buildings are beautiful. These front, Lincoln Park, and this is the Park View building there, the red brick one. And then there's another Park View building further down here. Yeah, I know. The wind's good. Ah, here comes the spider! Oh no! The spider blew off the tree. So, what are the odds of that? We'll put the spider back in its legs there, and hopefully he won't blow away. Poor spider. Did you see that? It was like a tumbleweed. I thought the spider became alive and was going to get me. Did you see that? So here we're on Clark Street here. We're across from Lincoln Park here. Look at the beautiful housing here. We're still looking for Halloween decorations, but that spider almost got me there. That's good. Here, we'll keep going. You see that? You see that, Grim Evil? See that, Nelios West? That was weird. Yeah, Subi, you saw it. I know. Did that scare you? You saw that spider come rolling towards me, and it was like. Everybody thought you see, that proves this is AI generated. How could I plan for that right when I'm walking by? It starts blowing down the street. We'll see it in the lake tomorrow. We'll see that spider floating in the Chicago River. It'll blow all the way down there like a tumbleweed. We got tumbleweeds of spiders blowing around in Chicago. Those bushes look suspicious. Yeah, watch out for the bushes. Sedgwick and North. Yeah, we were there yesterday. We walked down Sedgwick. There's some beautiful decorations on Sedgwick, I agree. I'll cut out the reruns. You can watch my live from last night. We walked down Sedgwick Street, and you can rewind and pause, and I'll cut out the beautiful decorations we saw on Sedgwick Street. I'm going to go over on Orleans here. There might not be decorations, but there's nothing here by the park. Ernie said there's stuff coming up for the zoo. I know I want to do the Haunted Halstead, which I think they're going to have this year on the 31st. We'll go by the Park West. We'll see who's playing at the Park West. They got a music venue here on Armitage and Clark Street. That's where Lincoln Park West breaks off from Clark. This is the 2020 building on Clark Street. We got October the 21st here, 2025. We got 6:39 in the p.m. We're just waiting to cross the street here. They'll do the left turns, and we'll head over to the Park West there. We'll see if Gayaz Fondue, G-E-J-A, Gayaz, is got the fire pits going. That would be some nice ambiance. So here, we'll head over there. Yeah, we walked through Cabrini Green this morning. We went over to the former Cabrini Green. I know there's still that one block, which I got to rerun of that, or the one section. But yeah, we checked out the casino construction. The casino on the North Branch there, it's starting to take shape there with the hotel, so you can check that out. Maybe I'll cut out some. I got plenty of content. I got content coming out of my ears. Here's the wind. Here Tuesday, October the 21st. Borns. Decade of Dopamine Tour. There you go, see Borns. Doors open at 6:30, show at 7:30 here at the Park West here on Armitage, Lincoln Park, Chicago. See. I thought it was Bjork, but it's not Bjork. There, Orleans and Armitage. Maybe we'll get out of the wind here for a second here. And yeah, there probably won't be Halloween decorations, but I still want to walk down the street because it's a beautiful street. And let's see what it looks like. Yeah, I know the Kennedys redid the White House. You know, people are going to be upset because it's Trump. Trump wants to have his little Versailles there. You know, yeah, okay, so he's allowed to make improvements to the White House. I agree. That's fine. You know, we have the right to complain and bitch and moan about it too. You would do it if Biden did it. I know you would. And we allow us to do it too. We're not going to be able to stop it. It's so he can invite all the billionaires and the foreign dignitaries and the lobbyists and have his grand ball there. And we can all stroke his ego and kiss his butt. And he can have his pomp and circumstance, and you know, they got to entertain the King of England and all that stuff. So yeah, go ahead and do it. It's fine with me. You know, the government shut down. Let's build a ballroom. Here's look at that. So they gutted this building. They kept the facade. You can look right through the back. And this is a renovation here on Orleans Street in Chicago. We're north of Armitage, and we're heading up towards Dickens. And look at that. It's a look how wide it is. It's a double lot, and they're totally gutted and redid it, and they're doing the interior there. 2000 block of Orleans Street here. But no Halloween decorations on this street. I thought I'd try, because these buildings are just beautiful. You've seen them here. They don't even have to decorate. And look, this one's got caution tape. Hey, there you go. So don't go up there. Oh, look, here we go. There's the little witches there around the tree. Look at these beautiful buildings on Orleans Street here. They don't even have to decorate. Here, we'll head over on Dickens. We'll head back to Clark. So, since the Halloween decorations were a bust tonight, and it's because it was raining, I would have went further west. Maybe later in the week we'll go to Wicker Park and check out Hoyne and Pierce, and there's usually some beautiful Halloween decorations on Beer Barons Row over there. And I just want to get home. We'll go by the Larry and Balky house, and we'll go by the St. Valentine's Day Massacre. I got readings of the St. Valentine's Day Massacre. You know, I guess it's kind of a haunted story, but it's more of a prohibition, gangland, true crime story. And it's still an unsolved mystery. Everybody has their theories. But here, this is Dickens Street. Wait for the cars to cross here. Okay, good. We'll head across. And they got 2 bike lanes here. We'll head over to Clark Street. The Pelham. So yeah, this building, the Pelham, this is where, remember the TV show Perfect Strangers? This is where, hey, historic apartments. This is where Larry and Balky Bartakamus, Perfect Strangers, there in the 1980 sitcom. In the later episodes, they would use this as their apartment building. The first 2 seasons, they used that apartment building in LA that's been altered. Hey, we got some Angry Octopus, home of Dickens C's Pizza here. Here's the Chicago Pizza and Oven Grinder, Ricardo's Restaurant. This is Clark Street, Lincoln Park, Chicago. I'm getting hungry there, smelling the Dickie C's. Pumpkin is here. Oh, they got vanilla patisserie. They got, yeah, get you some nice, wow, look at that. Get you orange slices on the cake there. That's what Paul Anka said last year when he was at he sang My Way there at the Columbus Day Parade. He said, I feel like I'm on a wedding cake. They had him up on the dais there. It was all like, it did look like he was on a wedding cake. There's the Chicago Pizza and Oven Grinder. Here's Ricardo. Yeah. Hey, here's some skeletons. So where these skeletons are at, just past it, this building shared a wall with the warehouse where the St. Valentine's Day Massacre happened. You can see it's across from Chicago Pizza and Oven Grinder. Check it out. Real Chicago style pizza. Very unique, different than the other stuff. You go to 2121 North Clark Street. That's the Chicago Pizza and Oven Grinder. Get you some pizza there. Come across the street here. This is the site of St. Valentine's Day Massacre, 1929. Of course, February the 14th. 4 members of Al Capone's gang murdered seven associates of Bugs Moran Northside gang. At the time, Bugs Moran lived, there was a hotel behind these buildings. And that's why they probably scheduled to meet it here. Al Capone was conveniently at his Miami Beach villa, so he had an alibi. He wasn't here. He usually had other people do his killing for him. And this is the infamous St. Valentine's Day Massacre site here in Chicago, where they lined him up against the brick wall with 70 rounds of Tommy gun. You can go to the Mob Museum in Las Vegas, and they got the recreated wall with the bullet holes in it. You can take a picture with it. The freakiest thing about it is the 4 people that carried it out, no one was apprehended or charged with the murders. Still technically unsolved mystery. People think they know who did it, but 2 of them were dressed as Chicago police officers. So they had real Chicago police officer uniforms, but they weren't police. They were part of Al Capone's gang. It's just Al Capone's gang had police officer uniforms, which is freaky, especially in the age of ICE. Think about that. We already got people impersonating ICE officers, and that happened in Prohibition too. The gangsters would impersonate police, and a lot of the police were corrupt. A lot of the Chicago police were corrupt. They were on the take. They turned a blind eye. They actually feared the syndicate, because watch The Untouchables, and the cops, you know, they value their lives over their commitment to enforcing Prohibition. And that's why Elliot Ness had to be brought into, and they eventually got Al Capone on tax evasion. They couldn't get him on racketeering or murders. They got him on tax evasion, and that's how they eventually got him. You know, almost like a civil suit. May's making cakes. Oh, May made cakes for a living. So that's great there. I bet you made a lot of good wedding cakes and all kinds of cakes. Hey, May, that's great. You worked at a bakery there. Very nice. Bet you got, there's a fine art to that. Here's Lincoln Park. I don't know what that means. Here, we got the light here. So we're at Webster and Clark here. Lincoln Park here. Yeah, the IRS put Al Capone in jail. Yeah, Sislam sent him to the grave. You're right, Peace Lisa. Thanks for tuning in there. Nelios, Chris. Gen X. Time does fly. Time does fly. Oops. So we got some orange lights on the Francis Parker School there. H&R Block, Essential Nail and Spa. So we'll see what happens with the Blue Jays, the Toronto Blue Jays against the LA Dodgers there in the World Series. And hope it's a good one. Let's see if we interact with the comments here. Gen X Horror Crusader. Yeah, the I-beams. We got a lot of rusty I-beams. Hey, Chris is rooting for Toronto. Yeah. Chris, can you believe LA just destroyed Milwaukee? I thought Milwaukee would put up more of a fight. Time does fly, Margie. Yeah. Nelius. Myrna. You guys are talking about some interesting stuff here. See, look at, because we got all these interesting side conversations going on, which is good. People are interacting. You know, I'm bringing people together through the power of telecommunications. Isn't this great? We can. It's like we're like a group chat. We're like an old chat. Is this what they used to call a chat room? Is my channel just become a chat room? That's what I get. I didn't find any Halloween decorations here and everybody fell asleep. They're not that interesting. Yeah, the wind died down. So for some reason it was really windy around the 2020 building. And see, remember how I say when you get around the tall buildings, why is it so windy? It's not just the wind that comes out of politicians' mouths, it's the lake. And once that wind from the lake hits the tall buildings, it funnels it around the corners. And the big tall buildings catch a lot of wind, and it pushes it down and around, and it creates these vortexes. And that's, you know, Chicago really doesn't have any more wind. There's many windier places in the Great Plains and Mount Washington and North New Hampshire. Here's the Dunkin' Donuts. I got a $5 gift card today when I walked. It started to rain and we walked down in the Pedway. If you want to see part of the Pedway, we'll be doing more of the Pedway in the wintertime. Here, I'll cross. Yeah, I'll cross here. There's a Dunkin' Donuts in the Red Line station there at State and Lake, and they were handing out Dunkin' Donuts gift cards. So hey, I gave a plug to Dunkin' Donuts. Or give me a coffee. You can at least get a coffee with $5. Better than Starbucks. Here's there's Dunkin' Donuts. Yeah, that's that Cobden building there. So Clark Street will go by the Reby Moving Storage. Thanks for letting me rant and rave here. I feel better. I hope I didn't offend anybody, but at least the mods must have chased him out, or I chased him out. I'm not going to stand for it. You know, you can have your own opinion, but you know, if I want to have a debate. I want people to debate the other side, but eventually they run out of. It just becomes it's pointless. I'm not going to convince you. You're not going to convince me. So we dub the Unforgiven. You know, that's the Metallica song. Here's the Reby Moving Storage. Here's the Pharaohs. Yeah, we'll sign off here. So thanks, mods. Thanks everybody else. We'll call it a night. We'll be back at it tomorrow. We'll head to work, see if anybody tunes in. And thanks for watching on YouTube. Check out the reruns on TikTok. And we might see a bridge lift tomorrow. I'll try to get out of the meeting. Maybe we'll head down there and we'll see what the weather's like and how cold it is and how many boats there are. Hey, we'll end it with these little happy ghosts. Look at the little happy ghosts sitting in the green couch there. what is this? This is a beauty salon. This is a beauty salon. I like that. And here's the Big Apple. We're gonna at the Big Apple Finer Foods. Shop at the Big Apple Finer Foods here on Clark Street, just south of Fullerton. They got a nice meat market. And have a good night here. We'll see you tomorrow, bright and early. Okay. Thanks, Joellen. Thanks, T-Lime, T-Time, Dolores, Grim Evil, Pizza Lisa. Thanks for being on. Anita, RGR, Phil, LR, Myrna. I think I said you already. Joellen, yeah. Okay, have a good night there. At least the comments were working. Thanks, everybody. LR, Gen X. Repent. Yeah, I'll repent. The end is near.